Hi, my name is Ansh Singhal, and this is how to plan hiking routes. So first you want to locate the trail. So you're not like going to start your hiking adventure by like hopping in the car and searching for a path along the road. Instead, it's important to check online before you hit the trail, and the web is full of excellent hiking websites with helpful information that allows you to search for trails near you. And many of them also indicate whether a path is easy, moderate, or difficult, and you might even learn how long the trail typically takes to complete, how to access it, parking information, and more. And look up the maps of the path to help you plan your day beforehand. So you also want to take a look at the time and how long it's going to take to complete your hiking route. Ask yourself how much time you want to spend on your hike. Are you looking for a trail you can finish between brunch and a movie, or are you planning on hiking from dawn to dusk? Also, consider how long it takes to get to the trail and how elevation will affect timing. So a simple rule is that for every 1,000 feet of elevation, add around an hour to your hiking trip because it takes longer to hike uphill versus on flat ground. You also want to take into account your fitness level and the fitness level of people that you're hiking with. If you are new to hiking, it might be best to start slow or on a shorter trail. You want to have an enjoyable experience, so it's important to choose a trail you can handle and give yourself time to build up to more difficult trails. Remember to think about the fitness levels of friends and family who plan to come along as well. And this is really important so that everybody has an enjoyable hiking experience where they're not feeling overburdened or tired and exhausted during the trip. You also want to take into account the distance of the hike. So usually a brisk or like fast walking pace is about 3 to 4.5 miles per hour, and anything less than 3 miles per hour is usually considered like a leisurely walking pace or like not really a hiking pace. So if you find a trail that is 6 miles long, it could take you about 2 hours to complete if you walk relatively fast. And wonder and ask yourself what you are comfortable with distance wise, and also consider that different types of terrain can affect your pace. For example, steep hills can slow you down, and depending on your fitness level, you may want to start with shorter distances to get a foot on and feel for what you can handle before committing to like multiple miles of trails. And taking account for the distance is also important, for things like your sign-offs and what requirements you're trying to complete. So before you go on a hiking trail, take into account what requirements people need to complete, and based on that, decide how long you want to make the trail. Also take into account the weather and season of the year. Always check the weather forecast before a hike so you can dress appropriately. Also, plan according to the time of the year. No matter your skill or fitness level, you should always avoid hiking new trails in the dark. So if you're going on a new trail like that you haven't been on before, it's important that you don't go during, the sunset time or at a time when you would be hiking in the dark. You need to be at a time where there is plenty of sunlight so you can see where you're going and not get lost on the trail. Also, taking into account weather is very important on whether or not you actually want to go hiking that day, what kind of gear you want to bring, what kind of clothes you want to wear. All of that is important to have an enjoyable hiking experience where you're not wearing t-shirts and shorts in the rain. Finally, you want to look at the characteristics of the trail and become familiar with your trail before you start the hike. And you can do this by looking at maps or brochures so you can consider length, difficulty level, elevation, and terrain. Think about where you will park and where the restrooms are. You can also decide whether you want to take a loop trail so you wind up back where you started, or a straight path that will require you to retrace your steps. This will also allow you to locate rivers and private properties that you must avoid when mapping out your hiking trail. Obviously, you can't be hiking on somebody else's private property. That's against the law. And moreover, if there's a river in the middle of your hiking trail, you either need to find a way to bypass the river or not go towards the river at all. So yeah, that's how to plan a hiking trail. Some key takeaways here are taking a look at the length of the trail, the weather and the time that you're going to be hiking, as well as the characteristics of the trail. and the elevation. Thank you.